Picture this for just a second. Your phone buzzes. You look down, and it's a message from someone you love. But here's the catch. It's someone who passed away over a decade ago. It honestly sounds like the start of a supernatural thriller, right? But what if it wasn't meant to be scary at all? What if it was actually a profoundly beautiful message, meant to completely reshape how you view your entire existence? Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into a deeply moving narrative that really asks us to look at life, love, and loss through an entirely different lens. We are unpacking the unforgettable story of the Orange Girl.
So, our story kicks off with a 15-year-old boy named Georg. He's just a regular teenager living in the suburbs of Oslo, totally obsessed with astronomy and music. But one totally ordinary day, his life is flipped completely upside down. He gets home to find his grandparents visiting, and well, they haven't just come for a casual hello. They've brought a hidden, sealed envelope. On the front, it just says, "To George." The catch here, this letter was written by his father, who passed away from cancer 11 years ago, back when George was only 3. It's this thick envelope just bursting with pages. Georg takes it up to his room, feeling this heavy, entirely understandable mix of anxiety and curiosity. He kind of comforts himself by thinking, if everyone collapsed every time they heard from their ancestors, we'd literally never be able to live our lives. So he takes a deep breath and he opens it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, Mystery of the Orange Girl. As George starts reading, he quickly realizes this isn't just your standard goodbye letter. His dad is actually transporting him back in time to when he was just a 19-year-old guy, painting this incredibly vivid, romantic picture of a chance encounter that basically changed everything. He walks George through this fascinating timeline. Day 1, he's on the Frogner train in Oslo, and he locks eyes with a girl holding a massive 5-kilo paper bag just overflowing with oranges. The train lurches, the bag slips, and as he tries to help, he completely, clumsily ruins the moment. Over the next few weeks, he's obsessively searching for her. He finally spots her at a local cafe. He goes up to her, awkwardly calling her a squirrel, because of how she darted away on the train. She gives him a little smile, but before she abruptly takes off, he notices a single, unexplained tear in her eye. Refusing to give up, he realizes, hey, she has to buy these oranges somewhere, right? So he stakes out a local greengrocer every Monday and finally spots her. She's radiant in this bright orange raincoat, carefully selecting oranges one by one before getting into a Toyota and driving off. The suspense really builds until Christmas Eve. He finds her again. They finally talk, but she hits him with this sudden, super strict ultimatum. They cannot see each other for the next 6 months. If he can wait, they can meet every day. If not, it's over. Oh, and to top the whole shebang off, she wishes him a Merry Christmas using his full name, Jan Olav.
So the crucial point here is that the father is writing this to Georg almost like a detective story. He's laying out these burning questions for his son to solve right alongside him. Seriously, think about it. Why does she constantly need 5 kilos of oranges? What on earth was the reason behind that sudden tear in the cafe? Why do they have to wait exactly 6 months to see each other again? And for sure, the most terrifyingly thrilling question of all, how did this mysterious stranger know his name? The father actually tells George in the letter, if you can answer these questions, you will solve the riddle of the Orange Girl.
Which brings us to part 2, the journey to Seville.
4 months later, so not even the full 6 months, a massive clue arrives in the mail, and it completely shifts our mystery from the snowy streets of Oslo to the warm, sun-drenched south of Spain. The father gets a postcard. On the front, there's this gorgeous picture of a Spanish orange grove, and written in bold letters is Patio de los Naranjos, the courtyard of the oranges. The postmark, Seville, Spain. On the back, there's a hand-drawn picture of a cute little squirrel, right next to a short, tantalizing message. I have been thinking of you. Can you wait a little longer? Now, for a 19-year-old guy falling head over heels, this isn't just a request to wait. This is an invitation.
Driven by pure romantic determination, the father immediately packs his bags. He outlines his exact steps for George. Step 1, he travels all the way to Seville. Step 2, he goes directly to that orange grove pictured on the postcard to search for her. When she isn't there, he just starts wandering the city, eventually finding its most beautiful neighborhood, Santa Cruz, and this stunning little square called the Plaza de la Alianza. He finds a small cafe in the square, sits underneath the shade of these beautiful orange trees, and he just waits, patiently. He knows, deep down, she has to show up.
Moving right along to section 3, revealing the truth. And, as you might expect in any great romance, his patience totally pays off. The orange girl walks into the square, and when she sees him sitting there, she is utterly shocked, but just overwhelmingly joyful. The chase is officially over, and finally, all the secrets are laid bare. She walks right up to him and asks a question that completely shatters the mystery. "Don't you remember me?" She reveals her name as Veronica. She was actually his childhood friend who had moved away when she was just 7 years old. Boom, that is how she knew his name and where he lived. She admits she had secretly been searching for him too, constantly hanging around places she thought he might be. As for that intense 6-month wait, well, she had won an art scholarship to study in Seville. And those massive 5-kilo bags of oranges, they weren't magical or anything. She was simply an art student who needed them for this huge coloring and still life project. She even confessed she had visited his parents in Oslo before leaving for Spain, swearing them to secrecy. Why? Because she truly believed that anything really worth having requires immense effort and struggle to attain. She wanted him to fight to find her.
Let's shift back to the present moment for a second here. Georg is sitting in his room, completely absorbed in this letter, when there's a soft knock at his door. His mother walks in. Georg looks up at her and quietly says, "My dear orange girl, I have been thinking of you. Can you wait a little longer?" His mother absolutely freezes. She hears the words, she hears the way he's breathing, and she just begins to cry. Is he really talking about that? She asks. And yes, he is. This profound realization anchors the emotional weight of the entire explainer right here. The mysterious orange girl his father chased all across Europe is Georg's mother.
And that brings us to our final section, Part 4, The Philosophy of Life. Now, you might be thinking this was just a really sweet story about how his parents met, but as Georg keeps reading, the whole tone of his father's letter shifts dramatically. We transition from this thrilling romantic mystery to a really heavy, profound philosophical exploration. Because this, right here, is the true purpose of the letter. The father reveals that shortly after Georg was born, he discovered he had terminal cancer. He knew his time was ending. He knew he wouldn't be around to raise his son, to teach him about the world, or to sit down and tell him this incredible story in person over a cup of coffee. He wrote this letter to teach Georg about the immense, absolutely heartbreaking value of life. He detailed that exhausting chase for the orange girl to prove a crucial point, that the most beautiful, valuable things in our existence require immense effort, patience, and yeah, sometimes a little bit of suffering to attain.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core lesson the father wants to pass on. He presents Georg with this honestly devastating hypothetical scenario. Imagine I offer you $1 million. You can do whatever you want with it, totally enjoy it, and live out your wildest dreams. But there is a catch, a big one. You know for an absolute fact that in exactly 1 year it will be ripped away from you and you will lose it completely. Do you take the money, knowing the agonizing pain of losing it is 100% inevitable, or do you refuse it entirely, choosing to live a flat, painless life where you never had it at all?
The father uses this intense analogy to talk directly about life and love. He writes this incredibly beautiful, poetic line: "He who does not live in his time will not live in any time." He's telling Georg that life is a unique, fleeting, just magnificent adventure. Yes, we're all just dust in the wind, living in a world whose beginnings we don't fully even understand. But this world, it's filled with the music of life. He chose the pain of leaving his wife and son because experiencing them, getting to have the orange girl, even for a short time, was absolutely worth the agonizing pain of saying goodbye. Life, much like an orange, is a mixture of sweet and sour. You have to choose to live in the moment, to taste it fully, to tell people you love them while you still can, and to just marvel at the sheer miracle that we get to exist at all. Ultimately, the father's letter is this desperate, beautiful plea across time. He's begging his son, and honestly, by extension, all of us, to look up from our daily distractions and truly appreciate the gift of reality, to embrace the effort it takes to find meaning. So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with the exact same heavy, existential weight the father left for Georg. If you knew the exact timeline of your life, and you knew the eventual, undeniable pain of losing everything you hold dear, would you still choose to step into the arena? Would you choose to live and love, despite knowing the painful end? Take some time to think about that today.